Hi, hello, namaste. Welcome back to Needs of Children. In this session, we are going to get the information about 10th standard English medium social science, in that history, chapter number 3, continued part of the impact of British rule in India. In the previous session, we get the information about land taxes policies, in that permanent zamindari system, Mahalwari system, Rayatwari system, the impact of British land tax system, the modern education system, the impact of British education in India. So these are the very important concepts we are get the information. Let's come to in this session we are going to get the more information, the continued part of the impact of British rule in India. Constitutional development. Along with the British administration, problems also grew in India, as they are providing the administration. Hand in hand, the problems are also increased a lot. In order to alleviate, in order to control these problems, reformation in administration became very important, and these reformations needed to address the demands of Indians. They have to fulfill the demands of the Indians. So the British attempted to create different rules in the form of law and tried to implement them. So these types of laws helped the evaluation of constitution in India. So we shall study these attempt in brief. What are the constitutional development contributed by the British East India Company, the historical background of our Indian constitution. Among that, some of the laws implemented during the rule of East India Company, among that the first one, it is called as Regulating Act of 1773. So why this Regulating Act was implemented? So what is the major features of this Regulating Act? After implementation of Diwani rights in 1765, the greedy company officials misused this provision and became rich in a corrupt way, so that corruption spiraled out. Edmund Burke, a member of the British Parliament, criticized the corruption in the East India Company. He termed the tax payment received by the British government from the East India Company as criminal tax. So he was the person, Edmund Burke, a member of British Parliament, majorly criticized the corruption in the East India Company. What the things it is happening, the greedy company officials, they misused the provision and became the corrupt way, so that he termed the tax payment received by the British government from the East India Company as criminal tax. So that he was forced to criticize in this manner, as the government remained silent to the fact of corruption among the company officials. Many company officials had become super rich, and many England feared that these people may upset the very political fabric of England. So that is the reason the Regulating Act was implemented in this background in 1773. So let's come to the what are the major features of 1773 Act. Among that, the first one, before the implementation of 1773 Act, there were 3 presidencies under the British rule. They are Bengal, Madras and Bombay. All these 3 were independent administrative units. Under Regulating Act, Bengal Presidency gained control over the other 2 presidencies. So before the implementation of this act, the 3 presidencies under the British rule, they are Bengal, Bombay and Madras. But all these 3 were independent administrative units. But under the Regulating Act, the Bengal Presidency gained these 2 control over the Bombay and Madras. And the second one, the Governor of Bengal became the Governor General of all the 3 presidencies. The Governor of Bengal became the Governor General of all the 3 presidencies. And the Governor General was authorized to direct, exercise, control and to supervise over the other 2 presidencies. After when Governor General took the direct control over other 2 presidencies. The Bombay and Madras presidencies could not declare war on any or enter into peace agreements without prior approval of the Governor General of Bengal Presidency and the Board of Directors of the company. Only during acute emergencies they were entitled to act independently. According to this act, Supreme Court of Judicature was established in Calcutta. This central court, 1 Chief Justice and 3 ordinary judges were there. So like this, as the name of Regulating Act suggests, the act was aimed at regulating the company affairs and its administration in India. Overall, this Regulating Act controlled the officials' corrupted officials or administration. So this is about the Regulating Act. And the next one, Pitt's India Act of 1784. There were many inconsistencies in the Regulating Act of 1773. In order to rectify them and also to clearly outline the powers of East India Company and the British government, Pitt's India Act was implemented. The government of England restricted the powers of East India Company through the Pitt's India Act of 1774. So let's come to what are those some of the powers were restricted by the British government to East India Company. A new institution named Board of Controllers consisting 6 commissioners were started. The Board of Controllers replaced Board of Directors. This board had powers to direct and control the issues related to land taxes, military and civil areas. The Board of Control came into existence in the place of Board of Directors. So these are some of the modifications were formed under the Pitt's Act of 1784. This act declared that the Indians have attained their paramount power in the name of the British Empire only, but not on their own, and curtailed the political rights of Indians conclusively. It declared that the areas under the possession of the East India Company are the integral part of the British Empire. Hence, the government of England is the ultimate ruler of India. So these are some of the well-known, the important features were undertaken under the Pitt's India Act. And next, some of the Charter Acts. So what are the Charter Acts were implemented? The main aim of Charter Acts was to renew the license of the East India Company. So here the British East India Company came to India for the purpose of trade. To do the trade in India, British government has given the permission in the form of license. So that here Charter Acts are the renew the license to issuing the British East India Company. Among that, the Charter Act of 1793, 1813, 1833 and 1853 were implemented to achieve this aim. As and when the charters were implemented once in 20 years, the new rules and regulations found fit by the British government was included in these acts. Among these, the Charter Acts of 1813 and 1833 are important for many reasons. So once in a 20 years, issuing of license for the East India Company, British government added some rules and regulations by the British government. Among those license, Charter Acts of 1813 and 1833 are the very important. Let's come to among that, the first one, the Charter Act of 1813. This act licensed the East India Company to stay for another 20 years in India. Before the implementation of this act, a demand to allow any interested person to carry out trade in India was there. Before this act, any interested person to carry out trade in India was there. This act allowed this demand and authorized all interested persons to carry out trade in India. With this act, the free trade era started in India with the Charter Act of 1813. So let's come to what are the other very important features of Charter Act of 1813. A new era of license and authorization started. And the third one, the Board of Directors was vested with the powers to appoint the Governor General and the Commander in Chief. So what they are formed the Board of Directors. They got the power to appoint the Governor General as well as commander-in-chief. The churches were allowed to enter India officially. The Christian missionaries were directed to enrich the knowledge of Indians and also enhance the moral and spiritual life of Indians. So the Christian missionaries were given the more importance to enter the Indians in churches. As well, the Christian missionaries has directed to enrich the knowledge, provide the education to Indians as well as some spiritual life of the Indians. Many Christian missionaries started arriving in India after 1813 Charter Act. The expansion of Christianity and English education started taking place with this act. Because of these developments, the Charter Act of 1813 is a historic act were undertaken under this. And the next, the Charter Act of 1833. So this act aimed at improving the Indian situation. It also licensed East India Company to remain in India after another 20 years. The main aspects of this act are: number one, the Governor General of Bengal was named as the Governor General of India. The Governor General was vested with the powers to direct, control and supervising all trades in India. The central government of Bengal had the final right to decide on issues like war, peace and diplomatic relationship with princely states of India. The Governor General was mandated to put his difference of opinion with the executive committee members in writing whenever he differed with the majority opinion. As the act barred any discrimination on the basis of religion, birth and skin color, the Governor General was mandated to appoint a law professional as member to his executive committee. All British companies were allowed to have trade relationship in India. So these are some of the very important features of Charter Act of 1833. So the Charter Act of 1833 throws more light on the internal situation of India and also the various political developments present in England during 1830s. So these are some of the well-known, very important, the Constitutional Developments Act of Regulating Act 1773, Pitt's India Act of 1784, Charter Acts, among that Charter Act of 1813 and Charter Act of 1833. Still the other acts were there. Those acts we will discuss in the next session. I hope you have understood till now what we are discussed, and I will come back with the next video. If you have any doubts, you can comment in the comment box. I will solve your doubts. I will come back with the next video. Until, keep watching my channel. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.